Okay, there's a big resistor up on the top of this thing. It says like 30,000 on it, but the black wire goes to the can. The wire's screwed up right here. There's a black wire, a skinny red one that goes to this one, which is supposed to be the round, but I think it's actually the triangle. I think that one's the round, half round, but it doesn't matter. They're both 40 microfarads. And then you got the heavier wire going here. When I checked these capacitors, or was working with them last night, I put a question mark on this one. This one, the eye wouldn't open for quite a while. I'm trying to soak up oil. I put oil in this potentiometer, and it's like been draining. I put way too much in. So if I measure from here to here, I get, let me see. So I'm hooked up right here. I get 6,000. It's changing. The capacitors are changing. 7,000 ohms right now from this skinny red wire that goes up to the green resistor to ground. So now I will get from, so what I'm supposedly trying to do here is figure out where that resistor is. I think it's this thing. But that they should be equal. So I'm getting way two different values. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to go like the silver face Fender does, and there ain't a voltage doubler, but there's their equalization across these capacitors is usually at 220k at I think it used to be a 1 watt. It's probably 2 watts. I put the 2 watt fireproofings in that I don't have, but so the equalizers are to equalize these equalize things. But this right now I'm getting 7,000. So right now I'm getting 7.3, 7,000 ohms. I'm on the X20 scale. 7,000 ohms. Now if I go to, now if I try to go from say here, it's actually the triangle. So if I try to go here where the skinny red wire is, going to that center tap resistor, and if I go to this diode, the top side of that other capacitor, I'll see, I think I get way more. It's not equal. Let me see. I'll pause it up here and hook it up. So back on here, I'm getting 14,000 ohms from there, where I just was, where the skinny red wire goes, to the heavier wire that comes out right here. So all three of these wires that come out of this loom is to that green resistor. So I think something's radically wrong there. This is not maybe correct or something. I'm not sure. So if I got, I'll write it down here. Okay, so back on here, and I was changing the polarity. I put negative to my meter to ground to this one, which would be the black one on here is the bottom of the green resistor with the center tap, big wire wound. This one is center, which I'm on right now, which I'm getting 7.28. 28. Okay, it changed. I had 7.32 a moment ago. The other side, I'm getting 14,000 ohms. So I'm going from 7 to 14. And I don't think that's a fair arrangement there. I think it's supposed to be 100k to equalize these capacitors. So I don't think that's fair. Something's wrong. So I'm trying to redo this. I'm shy one capacitor. I'm using these antique things. I bought them brand new, but this one came out of a pre-existing product. No date code. It just has this U. I go by this. It's a U. Oops. No date codes or nothing. I'm assuming I bought them in the mid-2000s. So I put one here. This one tested, the eye opened up reasonable. This one here opened up reasonable. This one it did not. That one took quite a while for it to open, so I was going to snip it out and put this in, but I need to do this cam. This is the AC. Those feed-through capacitors were really bad. I wouldn't even open at 100 volts. I did these. This is the negative power supply. It's supposed to be 150 volt capacitors at 20 microfarads. Didn't have them. I could have put 100 microfarads here and 100 microfarads here at 160 volts. I had those, but I used these. Again, these are the no-name specials or whatever. The U. So I'm trying to get this thing happening here. But this resistor's blowing my mind. So I'm getting 7,000 on the bottom side. The top side I'm getting 14. So what's the scoop? I don't have that. So I might be good here. I checked this capacitor. Where's that? I checked that one. That one checked good. I didn't desolder it. This is a feed-through capacitor. I don't know if I could check those. I think they probably never go bad. And I do have mold on these capacitors, moldy stuff. I could see it. I still have, even though that they dried up, I still have leakage in certain areas. So I'll flip this over once, and this is just hanging around until I figure out what I'm doing with the AC. I was just going to put another strip here, drill here. I think I'm safe to drill. I wanted to put these kind of at an angle so I could, well, I changed my mind now. I got a bunch of wires here to deal with. Okay, I got the wire from the wire wound. That would be the center one. And here, the bottom side of that wire wound resistor goes to chassis ground. The top side hooks up to here. The fatter wire, red wire is the top side. So this one's center, this is to ground, and this is the top side that goes here. So, so I'll put another terminal strip in right here. And I'm probably going to get rid of that green resistor on the top and just put two, as in quantity, two 220K fireproof resistors at 2 watts. Or maybe I'll get 5 watt resistors. I believe this is good. 100 ohm, and I believe that is good. It looks like another 100 ohm. But nothing seems to really. So we got a 100 ohm on the top, and we got a 270 ohm on the bottom. So that don't correspond either. 2 watts, 7 watts. Well, I have 100 ohm there going from say half round to triangle on the electrolytic there. So that's looks like a. Wait a minute, that's not 100 ohms. Maybe I'll have to measure. I think it's 100 ohms. I think it's 100 ohms. Yeah, 100 ohms. I'll measure them. So I'll have to deal with this. I still might replace the one with the question mark. I ain't a big fan of that one. This one works better. Something I built and tore apart. And this is this one. The one I have, I think it's a DX-60B. So I have all this. I have this on off right now. And when I turn it on, I think I want it on, okay, off, tune, standby. I think I want it on AM. AM will be kinder to the, oops. Okay, AM will be kinder to this tube. So supposedly I got everything here. I went through the box. I left those maroon mica capacitors in there. I have no way to tune that if that has to be tuned. I don't know, have no booklet on this thing anyways. So here's this resistor. So the black one grounds to the chassis, it grounds to the tab on this. The center one is supposed to go to the round, but it's actually on the triangle. It doesn't matter, they're both 40 microfarads, 40 microfarads at 450. The top one is the top side. So you got equalization for the lower side, equalization for the top side. But I think I'll get rid of this because this is just, I think it says 30,000 on it or something. Well, there's a nut on the bottom. I think this has to go. I'll replace it with 2 watt 220Ks on the bottom. Fireproofing ones. I don't like this thing. Especially if it don't measure equal. If it measured 100K and 100K, I would have left it. But seeing we have a double, almost double. 7 and 7 is 14. Well, you know, almost got, well, we got almost double. So if it measured 100K and 100K, I'd leave it, but it doesn't. It's going to cripple this side. Unless they did that to keep voltage down, maybe the voltage will go to, instead of 650, it might go to 850. You never know. I don't know what the voltage doubler, it says 260 volts, so of the AC. That goes to standby. I don't know what to expect. That's why I want to keep this on AM. I think AM will keep this running at a lower current rate. So if you're running on CW, this grid number 2 gets 180 volts. If you're running on AM, you're running at 65 volts, so I would assume that's, I don't know what it's doing. Maybe it's changing the negative control grid voltage or something. I don't know what it's doing. I didn't figure it out. Well, that's on the negative control grid voltage. That neon light. I thought it was on the high voltage. This is the on-off indicator, power indicator. The other one, where is it? Where's the other one? The other one is right here. This is on the high voltage, the B+. But I don't know where, that's supposed to say loading, I think. I should have used black ink. So, function switch shown in the off position. This thing indicates voltage readings. I'll have to read all this. I never read this stuff. All switches except the crystal switch are viewed from, I don't care, Voltage taken with dummy load. I think that means a 50 ohm wire wound or something in a tin can with mineral oil. I think. So I will have to get rid of this. I don't even know if I want to turn it on with this, because that seems like I wanted to look at this and see if it looks like it's been soldered. Let me see. Back on. So to me, I mean, this been on so many years, it's probably hard to tell. It's been changed. So the black goes to chassis, center one goes to the top of the can capacitor, and this one goes to the top of the B plus side of the black ones I'm putting in, those individuals that were really bad. So all these capacitors, I took out those big brown, two big brown ones and another brown one that was at the B plus of the drop-in resistor for that was that other one. But the negative control grid capacitors checked really good. The blue one. Is this it? This one here. This one checked really good for the negative power supply. I didn't check the capacitance. No, I'm just saying there was no leakage. I don't go as far as checking the capacitance, because especially the ones that are leaky, it seems if they're leaky, they barely open up, or they're very cloudy. You could tell what the capacitance is, but it's very cloudy, and you got to pay attention really good. So this one actually tested good. So I'm gonna get rid of this thing and put a 220K. This is the center tap, so you get 220K to there and 220K to there, but I'll put it down on the below. Get rid of this. I wax this thing, then I took the wax off. Then I put Vaseline all over it, but I had to wipe the Vaseline off because it's getting on my fingers constantly. Broke all these loose and put Vaseline on the upper sides. I couldn't. Some of these I could work with a little underneath, but I didn't want to get too far. I forgot to bust this one loose, so I forgot to do this. But this has a true ground from here to there. So if this don't have to be tuned inside, it should be all right. But I think those maroon mica, not silver mica, but those maroon mica capacitors that look like silver mica, they're like these kind right here. I got one right here. This kind right here, I don't think that's a silver mica. I don't think. But it has these, but I think these are only worth 600 volts, I think. The ones I buy brand new, they're only worth 600 volts. But I was thinking about these. These kind, I have these. And these are worth 3,000 volts. So there's 1,500 picofarads. But I have the arrangements of those. I have them right here. So I need. I don't think it goes down low enough. No, I need 47. I'm really using my 1,000 picofarads up, so I try to go before or after. So the lowest I have is 100 picofarads. So one spot it takes 180 picofarads, two of them, and the outer where it comes in and goes to the antenna, the outers are 47 picofarads. So I'd have to order these individually. Put them inside there. So again, this has mold. I can see mold in here, in between these fins. I can't see it here, but there's something. I think I have to really, if I really want to do this right, is take that to a jewelry shop or something. So you can see moldy in this part right in this area. There's mold or something. See mold. So the contact cleaner did nothing. Same with this, contact cleaner did nothing. This is the mic. This is the domino, and I checked the 0.001. I didn't have to desolder it, so I'll curl that over and probably I might still replace it. I'll leave it that way. I'll just snip that off. So it's a quick removal if I want to put one of those blue dogs in. If I got the value, I got that. It's 1,000 picofarads. So this will still read short circuit, or not short circuit. I got to be on a 20 megohm scale, but it will show activity in these areas. If I try staying on it, it'll stay like that. Then it goes to infinity eventually. So it's got something going on with that moldy crap or whatever. This one should be no problem. I don't know how long that's supposed to be, or how close to the tube. I don't know nothing about it. I'll put the tube in. I gotta put a nut and bolt in this one. I didn't do that yet, and I want to break these loose. I haven't broken those loose and reestablished them. I did do this, and I did get Vaseline on the back side of that up against the wall, so that's been reestablished. I put oil in this stuff, but that one down there is not reestablished, or none of these on the floor except for that one. That's the only one that was reestablished. This thing here, before I had this stuff hooked up, this one here measured between this shaft to this infinity. So we don't have established connection here either. But now I can't measure it anymore since I did that to about, like I say, I would check from the fins, check from that, check from that. I have infinity, so you would think that would be established ground, but it's not. So I gotta break this stuff up and wiggle it around and probably put some, what they call petroleum jelly. I'm using this stuff. This has always been in our mechanical toolboxes for car batteries and stuff. My dad always used it, so it works good on many things. So that's it. I think this will be gone. I don't trust it. If this side measures 7,000 ohms and this side ohms out to 14,000 dot something, it's not equalization. $40 at 450, 450. So I have to order at least 140, one quantity of one. I might be able to find one, but I don't like that other one that had the question mark. This thing's supposed to have 2 washers on each side, I think. I had 2 washers, a big long bolt, and some other couple of things. And if I put it on, there's not the bolt's too short. Imagine that. So I can just put the black cup in here, and I can't even put a washer there. It won't fit anymore. So this is May 26, 2022, Orange Beginner's Corner, signing off.